Guys, in this video, I wanted to take some time to talk about the Canik TTI Combat and some of the issues that some folks have experienced. I also want to talk about what Canik has done and what the problem actually is. But before we get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would like and share the video. Also, leave me a comment down below. Check out all of the links down below, and that way you can kind of help support what we do here. Sharing the video helps to overcome some of the YouTube shadow banning, and I want to take a minute to mention my channel members. Without you guys, I would not be able to keep doing this. I really appreciate you all helping. If you are interested in becoming a channel member, go over to my main page. You can join there and get early access to the videos. When the Canik TTI came out on the market, it was extremely popular. Just right out of the gates, this is a gun that everybody wanted. And it was hard to get, but at the same time, as people started picking them up, a little bit of an issue developed with some of the guns. And that issue is basically an out of battery. Basically the gun would not fire. You would have a dead trigger, it would not go off. Canik, of course, with the collaboration between Terran Tactical Innovations, the guy that made the guns for John Wick, and also trained Keanu Reeves in that role, that's one of the reasons why everyone wanted to get their hands on this gun. I wanted to bring you guys behind the gun once more. You can see we are lined up on target. For me, I am seeing a lot of blur, but I do have that front sight post in focus because I am focusing through the camera. I'm looking through the camera viewfinder just to give you guys a little bit better view of this gun and behind this gun. But I wanted to give you that, guys, this viewpoint because I know that that's something that you guys tend to like, and show you what it is from the shooter's perspective. You can see that front sight on this gun. It is very visible, and we are lined up on target, and let's see if we can ring that steel a couple of times. I missed that one, and I know that was purely me simply because it is very blurry for me in this camera looking through that viewfinder. Okay, let's see if we can slow it down, get focused where we need to be, and then press that shot. There we go. This is a gun that is tuned, I guess you could say, from the factory, a factory production competition gun. That's kind of what they were going for, along with a lot of the bling and things like that. Let's take a minute to take a closer look at this gun. And since we have been shooting, you can see there's currently no magazine in the gun, and there is currently nothing in that chamber. One of the things that I absolutely love about Canik is the trigger. Particularly on the TTI Combat, this trigger is absolutely amazing. You can see that it does have a very wide trigger plate, and when you press that trigger, you have very little take up. You hit the wall right about there, and then the break is exactly around 90 degrees. You can see there where that trigger is. The reset on that is right there. Super crisp, super clean trigger, and that's something that Canik is known for in all of their pistols. If you guys have been a follower of my channel for a while, you know that I have shot several different Canik firearms. They are a very fine firearm. The TTI Combat, you can see some of the engraving there on the gun, the way that the cuts are, the window cuts, the serrations on the front and the back, the compensator that is on the front of the gun. This is a very nice firearm, and it feels very good in the hands. The texturing on that gun has a lot of grip to it. It is something that's going to bite into your hands and help you to keep that gun right where it needs to be. That mag well, you can see there, for me, it is the perfect fit. When I grip that gun, it sets right there and helps keep my hand pushed up underneath that trigger guard where I need it to be. I'm getting high on that gun, and that way you can help manage that recoil much better. You can see the little bit of an undercut there on the trigger, and that helps you to get way up where you need to be for managing that recoil. So what was happening with folks is then when they would fire that gun, when the gun would return to battery, it would not go all the way back into position. You can actually see on some folks' videos what was happening, okay? The gun would not go completely back into battery, and then when they would go to that next shot, you would see that slide jump forward just like what I demonstrated there. And again, guys, I was holding that slide to let it do that. Okay, you can see a little bit of a gap where that compensator was, and so on. And the problem is the recoil spring. This is something that is with competition pistols and things like that. People will tune their guns for various loads, various different weight loads, and so on. They will use different springs because of the various loads. And another thing that will play into it as well, Canik, right out of the box, Canik recommends a break-in of at least 150 rounds. Okay, I usually get people beating me up when I talk about guns that need a break-in period, but the reality is, from the manufacturer, they're telling you the gun needs a break-in period. Okay, take that up with them. Even beyond that 150 round count, there were still folks having the issue, and what Canik's solution was to send out a little bit heavier recoil spring. Now, when you get the gun, you get not only the recoil spring that comes with it, you also get another one that is tuned for some of the lighter loads. If you are using a light load for like some of the competition loads and things like that, what you would want is, you would not want a very heavy spring, because there again, that is going to affect that gun cycling. Okay, what would happen with a lighter load, a competition load in many cases for you competitive shooters out there, you know what I'm talking about. A lighter load does not necessarily have the same power as like just a standard target load or a self-defense load, and that action of that slide would not cycle all the way back with a lighter load, with the regular spring. So if you changed to a lighter spring, that action would cycle back, and that's all about recoil. Okay, instead of getting as much muzzle flip, a lighter load, you're not going to have as much muzzle flip, and you're going to be able to get back on target much faster. That's the key to a lot of competition guns. That's one of the reasons why competitive shooters are always playing around with spring weights, playing around with different ammunition loads and things like that. But with the standard ammo, regular target loads, some of the guns were experiencing issues. With mine, I did have a few out of battery experiences with my gun to where I had that. Okay, that's something that is, it kind of makes you feel bad, but at the same time, this gun, it's a new gun. It is something that I knew that the manufacturer would take care of. And what they did is simply sent out a new recoil spring. It is a little bit higher tension recoil spring to make sure that the slide gets back into battery. This is the original spring that come with my gun. Okay, I went ahead and just put it in the bag just to keep it in the bag with the gun. Of course, this is the gun, the light spring that came with my gun as well. And in the gun, I have that heavier spring. I recently did a video which basically was just a shooting compilation, which is actually what this video talking about it was going to be. But what happened there, I lost the footage, so I'm redoing it. But I'm going to roll in some of the shooting footage along with this video. I have not had a single malfunction with this gun since I replaced that recoil spring. With the original factory spring, it was not common. I did occasionally, every so often, have a situation to where it would have a little bit of an out of battery experience, an out of battery issue, and then would not fire. The problem after replacing that recoil spring has completely gone away. I've not had any issues. The gun has been 100% reliable since then. That is my Canik TTI Combat. My two other Caniks, this is my TP9DA, the bronze, great gun, no issues with it, and the same for my Canik Meta SFT. You guys know that I love this gun as well. These guns are all very reliable. Very reliable. I cannot say anything negative about the reliability on these guns. A couple of issues with the TTI Combat, but those issues are now fixed by replacing that recoil spring. Contacted Canik, they sent it right out to me, and the problem is gone. Most of you guys know that a competition gun is a gun that is typically very highly tuned. Competitive shooters are often using different springs, different weights of ammo, trying to keep that recoil down and still make effective shots, but they also have to balance reliability. This gun, being basically a production competition gun, the spring tension on that, some of the early runs that they had, they might not have been just heavy enough. I know with the spring that you get with it, it's really designed for a little bit lighter of a load, the regular spring, and then of course the one that comes with it. With the addition of that new high pressure spring, I think that they have eliminated the problem. Now, there are some folks out there that are kind of hesitant on these guns simply because of that. But again, guys, it's completely up to you. But it goes back to the old saying, what are you going to do with the gun? Is it something that you're going to be using for home defense? Is it something you're going to even conceal carry? If that is going to be your choice for a gun like this, you really need to get that gun out to the range and make sure that it's reliable. This gun, it's a good gun. I love shooting it. It feels good in the hands. It's a very accurate gun. The way that those sights are, as you've seen earlier in the video, I really like how they look, how they stand out. So for me, this gun, it's going to remain in my collection. I look forward to many more times of shooting this gun down here at my range. But guys, it's just a few of my thoughts. I do think that they've got the problem resolved with the spring. There are other folks out there that may have different opinions as far as that goes. They may think that there are some other issues with the gun. That's not been my experience, and this is my experience in this video. Guys, hope you liked the video. Be sure to check out all the links down below. Thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and we'll see you next time.